So you want to learn how to make grills, but you don't know where to start. You're looking on Google, you're hitting a dead end, you're reaching out to people, you're hitting another dead end. But luckily for you, you found my page, and I'm going to be giving you the breakdown from A to Z, the whole process on how to make grills. Now please keep in mind, this is coming from a degreed dental technician's point of view rather than a jeweler's perspective. But hey, I know a few things, so let me put you on game. Get your pen and pencil ready because it's time to take notes. Now be sure to subscribe to my channel because in today's video we are solely going to be touching base on impressions. The first vocab word that we're going to be touching base on today is dental impression. What is a dental impression? A dental impression simply is an imprint of your teeth, gums, and surrounding oral structures. Now you may be wondering what impressions are used for, and they're typically used for retainers, mouth guards, dentures, but in our case they're going to be used for a mold up that we can make a custom piece. If you've already done some research, then you're well aware that there are two different types of materials that you can use to take impressions. One, you can use what is most common, which is the impression putty, or two, you can use alginate material. Now essentially when you use impression putty, you're going to have a catalyst and a base, you're going to mix it together, boom, place it in the client's mouth. When you use alginate material, you're going to have the alginate powder, you're going to have water, you're going to mix it, place it in the tray, and then you're going to place it in the client's mouth. Both are great materials to use when taking impressions, but I'm about to give you the breakdown and the difference between the two. Now to break down what alginate material is a hydrocolloid material that is derived from seaweed. With that being said, it is also known to be an irreversible material, so it is best to use if you have the client in person and you're able to pour up the stone model within 10 to 15 minutes, because if not, the material will shrink. Alginate will be in a powder form, and then from there, when you're ready to use it, is when you add water, you mix it, and then it creates this kind of gelatin consistency. Now, in my personal opinion, I love when I have in-person clients and I'm able to use this material simply because it is so precise on the detail. It captures every little thing. But the most important thing is that you have a short working time frame, so you have to pour it up right away. As soon as you take it out of the client's mouth, it needs to get poured up. Some other pros to keep in mind when using alginate material are that it has a good shelf life, it's easy to mix, it's easily removable, and also the setting time truly depends on the temperature of the water you use. So if you use cold water, it's going to take a little longer to set, and if you use hot water, it's going to set really quick. Now that we've gone over the pros of alginate, it's only right that we go over some of the cons. Some cons include it is very messy. I would highly recommend wearing scrubs and some clothes that you genuinely don't care about, because it's not that bad, but it definitely does make a mess. There's limited working time when using this material. As stated prior, the temperature does play a big factor in the setting time of it, but you have to pour it up right away. It has four-dimensional stability, meaning that the material's ability to maintain the original shape and size over time is no bueno. Excess water gain can lead to swelling of the material, and excess water loss can lead to shrinkage of the material. The biggest thing when using alginate material is that you want to prevent shrinkage at all costs. Shrinkage leads to inaccurate work. Inaccurate work leads to lost time and lost money. So if you choose to use this material, just be sure that you are being mindful and you're following all the steps that are necessary. That way you have accurate impressions every single time. Now that you have a general understanding of how the material works, I'm going to show you how to mix the material and place it into your client's mouth. So prior to mixing, there's 5 different materials you're going to need in order to make the process smooth. You're going to need a rubber mixing bowl. You're going to need a spatula of some kind. I use a metal. I know some people use plastic. You're going to need your alginate of choice. You're going to need some water, and then you're going to need a napkin. So in my mixing bowl, I'm going to be pouring 2 scoops of alginate powder. And here's the second. Now that my powder is in my bowl, I'm going to slowly pour in water. We're mixing, making sure all the powder is out. And we're going to press it on the side of the bowl, make sure all the air bubbles are pushed out. And then I'm going to scoop it out. And now I'm going to place it into my tray. As you can see, prior to the material setting, it is a pink color. By the time it sets, it will be completely white. So what's important is you're going to go in at an even plane. You're going to go down first, then to the front, but it's going to be in one motion. So make sure it's down all the way. And now we're gonna wait. The material is white, so I know it's ready. I'm gonna grab our napkin and hop it out. That sounded like a good section. When we first started, the material was a pink-purple color, and now that it's set, it's white. So now, as you can see in this impression, I put down all the way. The margins are clear. There's a little air bubble right there, but that's not nothing that we can't fix. And now this is ready to be poured up. So now that you have a general understanding of what alginate is and how to use it, it's time to cover putty material. Now right off bat, when you see your putty material, you're going to see that it has a Play-Doh kind of consistency. The base portion of this is going to be the material that allows the impression to harden after the allotted time. The catalyst material of this is more oily, which allows an easier mix. So an amazing thing about this impression material is that it has great dimensional stability. So unlike alginate material where you have to pour it up right away or it's going to shrink, this one you can go a couple of days and pour it up and it's still going to be very accurate. Some other pros of putty material is that it is simple to use, it's cost effective, it has easy removal, and it also has high tear strength, meaning it's not likely to tear when you remove it from your client's mouth. Due to the great dimensional stability that this material has, this is most ideal to use for your out-of-state clients. You just have to ship them out a little bit of the base, a little bit of the catalyst, and then the impression trays, and then walk them through the steps. Now that we've gone over some of the pros, it's only right that we go over some of the cons. The detail isn't as prominent as alginate material, but it still does pick up the oral structure very nicely. This material has a longer setting time. Typically, you're going to be waiting about 3 to 5 minutes. You have a very short time frame in between mixing the catalyst and the base together and then placing it in the mouth. If it starts to harden in your hand before you place it into the tray or even before you place it into the oral cavity, you might as well toss it because it's going to be no good. As you can see here, this is slanted. The client might have moved. There's a tear at the bottom of the canine. And this one, the client definitely moved because that is not how their teeth look. Now that we touched base on the pros and cons of putty impression material, let's get into how to use it. Typically, when you purchase your putty material, regardless of the brand, the typical universal color is going to be blue and white. There's 4 items you're going to need when taking a putty impression. You're going to need the putty material. You're going to need the scoopers that come with the impression material. You're going to need your impression tray. You need a napkin. When you receive your putty impression material, there's going to be 2 different color scoopers. Essentially, I use the darker one for the blue and then the lighter one for the white. The key thing when scooping is you want to grab even amounts. So I got 1 scoop. I'm going to do the same for this one. So now I have my 2 and I'm going to start kneading it together like Play-Doh. As stated prior, you don't have a lot of mixing time, so you want to work quick. The end goal with this is that you don't want to see any white streaks. It's going to end up turning the blue color. Now you can see there's no white streaks, so I'm going to do a log motion to about right here. And I'm going to grab my tray. I'm going to grab my tray. We're going to pull off any excess. I'm going to even play and go to the back first, then go to the front. And now we're going to set a timer for 3 minutes. If you can hire the material is hard. Now we have our accurate impression that is ready to be poured up. So now that you have an understanding of what impressions are and how to take them, it is time to explain to you how to pour up the stone models. That is going to be covered in the next video, so please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you've made it this far, comment down below what is dimensional stability. I hope this video gave you the confidence and insight that you needed to start practicing your craft. Remember, progress comes with consistency. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.